best Todd Havercorn impression?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I'm Todd Havercorn.
God, it's like sitting beside him.
I'm deaf to care. It's not symmetrical.
It is.
I'm drunk Todd Havercorn.
That's glorious.
Okay, so who do you play in Soul Eater?
I am Chuck Huber. I play Dr. Stein.
And I'm Shermy Lee, and I play Patty in Soul Leader. So I'm a gun.
I'm a gun.
And a person.
I thought you were going to say a gun and a purse.
That would be also very cool.
No, I'm the person. My name is Vic Mignogna, and I play Death Scythe, or Spirit Albarn, or Maka's dad. You know, when I sign Spirit pictures, I always sign them Daddy. In fact, there's so much Soul Eater stuff that doesn't have my character on it that I just sign next to Maka. Yeah, and I just write, Daddy loves you.
Vic doesn't realize it, but while he was answering or doing that last little sort of introduction, I removed his spleen. Because, you know, no, never.
So, real quick, just so you guys know what to expect, here's what's going to happen with the panel. It's a 2 to 5 window, right? Obviously, we're not going to do a Q&A for 3 hours. We're going to do a Q&A for an hour, and then at 3 o'clock, we're going to go back to our signing tables. Chuck will go to his signing table here with his lovely artist friend and girlfriend. Yeah, she's very cute with her pretty turquoise hair.
Super hot girlfriend.
He's allowed to say that. And then Shermy, super hot. She's super hot girlfriend.
Yeah.
And Shermy and I will be downstairs right after this in an hour, one last time to sign at the tables down in the dealer's room. So
Until they shut the dealer's room down.
if we haven't met you yet, come and see us. And if we have met you, come and see us. And let's make the most of these last few hours. Okay? So he's working on another microphone, but in the meantime, we want to open it up to questions from you guys. So who's got a Soul Eater question? Hey! Yes.
Oh, that's like, how would you feel if Mom got married?
Don't speak of such things.
Dude, that was like.
Well, as long as she doesn't marry Soul. That would be disastrous. Maka! Don't do that to Daddy.
That was like complicated.
Yes.
No, we got it. We got it. That's dangerous.
You know, when I was going totally insane as Stein, the laugh, like when he starts laughing for a really long time, that was like 1 minute and 40 seconds of laughing, like minimum, straight. And it had to like build, so it was really hard to do. That was really tough. Shao Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist was also tough because all he did was whisper. And whispering's like, I'm so happy. I'm so angry. It sounds exactly the same, so it's hard to act while whispering. Yes, question.
What if Tamaki and Wonderful Spirit just met each other?
You know, you like to ship people, don't you? You're shipping characters, aren't you?
I always ship with FedEx. I'm all like, No, I gotta change that joke. I always ship with UPS. What can Brown do for you?
After that, I kind of ship Stein with Undertaker.
Stein and who?
Undertaker.
You want to talk about shipping those guys?
Typically, if you wrap the package and make sure that it's taped good, the address is on the front, you can ship it anywhere. Yes,
Does
question.
it have to have a fragile sticker on it?
Oh yeah.
That was a just a classic Vic, oh yeah. Let's go to the question right there. Yeah.
What was it like to personify a country?
Austria, oh my goodness, what a silly character. Austria? Yeah, it's from Italia. I like to do Austria because it makes girls squeal. I don't know why. Especially if yes, and then you cover your noses. I don't know why that happens either. Oh my God, I love Prussia. Oh no, it's very strange. Yes, sir.
How long did it take you to perfect that accent?
The Austria? I just imitated the guy on Saturday Night Live who was like, and now on Sprockets is the time that we dance. Then I kind of raised the pitch a little and then shook my hands and it was done. Oh my goodness, I'm Austria. I'm so excited. That's pretty much how it happened. Yes.
Did we ever get too into the character? He got into me a lot. And I was never the same. You know what was one thing that I really enjoyed was there was an episode where Spirit imitated Stein.
Yes.
Do you remember that? And I was so excited about it because I kind of wanted to do my best Chuck Huber, so that was really a fun moment for that. But I love Chuck so much, and we've been friends for such a long time that when I went in for the first recording session, and I didn't know who else got cast. You know what I mean? I mean they don't need to tell us. We don't know. So when I went in for my first session as Spirit. And Zach told me about like the relationship, like you're this girl's dad and you hate this guy and this is this and this is this. And when he introduced me to Stein and he said, and Chuck Huber plays Stein, I was like, sweet! Because I knew Chuck and I were going to get to have a lot of fun together. And it was really a pleasure to play that character with him.
So, yes, such a fun show. Whack. Oh, is that it? No more, oh, one more question.
Okay, this for all of you. What is your favorite, least favorite line absolutely that you can remember?
Favorite and least favorite?
I have too many favorites.
My favorite is the Stein laugh. I don't have a least favorite.
My favorite, there's two scenes that are my favorite would be Patty in the exam episode where she breaks the giraffe's neck. And also the row, row, row your boat in the pirate episode where I sang for 3 minutes in a round with myself, which in theory I thought was a really genius idea because I was like, I bet it's never been done before, a round with oneself. And then about the first time the round has to happen, I was like, this is why it's never been done. You're an idiot. But I had to commit to it and do it for the full 3 minutes, which was a nightmare. And then I chose to tell everyone, I'm running out of air now. Okay, this is painful. As I kept doing it, and then I didn't know what happened to Zach. He just had me keep singing, and then they weren't in the other side of the glass anymore. I thought they just left me. They were literally on the floor laughing. And Zach said, that wasn't a good choice, was it? And I was like, no, it wasn't. He said, cool, we're moving on. And that's what they used.
I love that. That's terrible.
I mean, some of my favorite moments that I remember from Soul Eater was the Maca chant, and sending Maca and little baby bloomers. Little baby bloomers. And, of course, I love it when he accuses Soul of accusing Maca of being flat-chested or something like that. And of course, good times at Chupacabras. Yeah. And my least favorite line is when Maca tells me that she hates me. I've always maintained that I believe that Death Scythe is kind of a sad, older version of Tamaki. Like, he's one of those guys that when he was in high school, he was, he was the shiznit, you know what I mean? He was smooth and all the girls liked him and he thought he was the thing. And then he gets out of high school and college and he still tries to do the same crap. And no, it's not good anymore. It doesn't work. And, you know, and he fails at relationships, and he just becomes this kind of a sad,
And then dies a terrible.
you know, sad character. And so I always kind of imagine there being some connection there. High school, Spirit Albarn. Yes. Question? Yes.
Oh, sure. Do we ever ad-lib stuff?
Yeah, the question was, do we ever make up stuff that ends up in the actual episode? And yeah, absolutely, that'll happen a lot of times, almost every session, in little tiny ways, but sometimes in bigger ways. Like when we were recording Shin-Chan, there was this like manly brotherhood song, "To be a man, you..." And the original lyrics weren't "to be a man you must have honor, honor and a penis." But there were something that I thought wasn't it what it was to be a man. And I was like, that's not true, whatever those lines were. It should be, "To be a man you must have honor." And then the recording engineer Peter goes, "And a penis." And we were like, oh, we got our song. Did you ever make anything up?
Yeah, I made up a, oh, hey. I made up a lot of stuff for Borderlands too. I think for video games it's a lot easier because we aren't bound by the animation already being there. So the writer of Borderlands said, here's a rough skeleton, add to it. And then he's like, let's just go. So I just started making stuff up in the take. The worst thing they could say is, let's do it again. Don't say that, but we like where you took it in this direction. But I guess for some anime stuff, they'll like, if the character's off screen or there's a lot of like chattiness going on, like Walla, and your character's still there, but they're all talking for 2 minutes or a minute. You think a minute to 2 minutes is not a lot of time. It's a lot of time when you're in a box by yourself and people are like, oh, just do something. Make it funny. So yeah, sometimes we add stuff and we say ridiculous things and they keep it.
Yes, right here. Do I relate to any of my characters? Yeah, Stein to some extent, because I am also insane. We're all a little insane, aren't we? Yeah. And you know, things like when I got to laugh like that, I mean, it was a really tight point in my life, and so it felt really good to go in the booth and just like, oh, this is kind of how I feel. And then you start getting into it, and you're like, oh, I see why people go crazy. Yeah, for laughing for no reason, really loud is fun. Not in Albertsons, but it's fun.
I like Patty a lot, but I feel like we have to relate to our characters because we have to play them, so there has to be an aspect of us in all of them. But I like being crazy like Patty. She made me kind of step out of my box of, oh my gosh, I can't do this, people are going to judge me, or what are people going to say? Like, Patty doesn't care, which was very empowering to just not care what anybody thinks about you. It was great.
Yes, right here. Uh-huh. Not a clue. She asked if you ever realized you were going to be a voice actor, and maybe I could even add to that, ever set out to be a voice actor or plan to be a voice actor. Never in a million years. When I was little, I used to love cartoons like any other kid, and I even loved some anime shows. I didn't know they were anime.
Right.
Like Speed Racer and Kimber the White Lion and stuff. They were weird, you know, they weren't drawn. They didn't look like Scooby-Doo. They didn't sound like Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner Hour, but I liked them. I didn't know where they were from. But I just wanted to act, and I think you'll probably get the same answer from every voice actor. We started out wanting to be actors and wanting to learn to develop the craft of acting, and then somewhere along the line somebody offered us an opportunity to voice act, to play a character solely with our voice. And it was never part of like the divine plan that I'm going to be a voice actor. I just, thought it would be fun to act. And so that's how I got into it.
Yeah, I never really planned. I didn't even know I was a voice actor until like 2 or 3 years after I was a voice actor. Because I did DBZ at Garlic Jr. and Android 17, and like DBZ was really popular, and I didn't know it. And then we got on to Yu Yu Hakusho, and then they sent me to Otakon in Baltimore for Yu Yu Hakusho, and I didn't know that. I was like, why am I going? Am I gonna pass out flyers? Like, watch my show, Yu Yu Hakusho, it's a really good show. And they're like, no, you're gonna sign autographs. I was like, what? You're stupid. And they're like, no, you're stupid. And then the first convention, I signed autographs for 4 hours. I was like, wow, okay, I guess something happened. Because I didn't know why everyone was so excited. Because I was like, oh, I better watch this show then. And then I did. And then I was like, oh, anime. I remember anime. Because like I grew up watching, like Speed Racer, Star Blazers, G-Force, Akira. I had watched anime and really enjoyed it. But I didn't realize it was anything but, for me and the other dude in college who liked anime. I didn't know everybody else was out there, so. Oh, you have a microphone.
we can, I'll share now. I only thought that anime was Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, and Sailor Moon, and I liked those 3 shows, but that's all I thought it was. So when someone said, yeah, you need to, you need to audition for Funimation, I went and auditioned for Peach Girl, and I got cast as Sai, and they said, so you're going to be going to Boston, the show already has a huge fan base, and I was very confused, because as an actor, I had done some original animation, and I had done like film and TV stuff and commercials, but my understanding was, when I saw Pokemon and Sailor Moon, I saw the English version. I didn't necessarily know that there was a Japanese version when I was like a child. I didn't get it. So when they said there's a fan base for it, I thought, how could that be? We haven't even finished recording. So how am I gonna go and people are gonna know what I'm working on? So that was kind of crazy, but my intention for getting into the business was to be on Barney. That was all I wanted in this world. That was my ultimate goal. It didn't happen. I know, but no, I got to do some other fun stuff and doing film and TV work and whatever. I had my chance to be on Barney, met the producer, met the director, and the director came up to me and said, don't be on Barney, it's gonna ruin your career. And I was like, I don't care. But yeah, so.
Yes, question right here.
For all of you, what's the craziest thing your character would do?
Dissect people while they're sleeping? That's probably the craziest.
While they're awake.
Let someone dissect me while I'm sleeping? That would be pretty...
Oh my God, not again.
behave. I don't know. I think Spirit's full of craziness. He's always doing something kind of wacky, and I think his obsession with losing his daughter's love and respect just makes him do really crazy things. But I like it.
I don't know if there's much that Patty wouldn't do, but the first thing that came to my mind was turn her exam into a turtle. Because, that would be weird. Giraffe is the way to go. I don't know anything she wouldn't do. She's wacky.
It's Sunday morning, Vic and I are both doing business. We gotta put our phones down. Sometimes, that's the weird thing about the entertainment industry is sometimes you get emails and it's like, that has to be answered right now. Or your film is not screening at the festival or whatever. Or you're going to lose that opportunity. So I apologize that the entertainment industry encroaches into our panel session. And as such, I am going to strip naked. No, that's...
No. Keep texting. Keep doing... It's really okay. They understand.
Hey.
You already made a promise.
Let's have some more questions.
Yes, right there.
How did you guys come up with the voices? Did it just suddenly come and oh, hi? Or did you base it off from somebody else?
Well, you know what's funny? I auditioned for several characters for Soul Eater, and Spirit wasn't one of them. I auditioned for Soul, and I auditioned for Death the Kid, and then when Zach called me in to record, he said, "Okay, you're going to be playing this guy," and I was like, "Who's that guy?" And he described him, and basically the first session you do, the director will go, you and the director will go through kind of a little back and forth about, he's like, here's what he looks like, and here's a little scene, what would you do for him vocally? And you try something, and the director may say, oh, that's great, let's go with that. Or he'll be like, can you darken it up a little bit? Maybe drop it down in your pitch, in your voice a little bit. Or can you make it a little more nasally? Or can you make him a little more nerdy? Or can you make him a little more manic? Or whatever. And so then you just kind of, you kind of work on it together and decide from the very beginning, what he wants for the show.
I forget what the question was now. Oh God. I don't even think I auditioned for Stein at all. I think Zach saw a crazy professor with a screw through his head who's also kind of twisted, and they're like, oh, get Chuck. Chuck can do that. But the voice, Zach, it's funny because sometimes I actually went back and watched Soul Eater again recently, because as I haven't watched it in a long time since it first came out, and people were telling me, your voice sounds different than Stein. And going back and listening to it, sometimes at conventions across the table when it's loud, you push the voice really hard. And then I was like, I went back and watched Soul Eater, and Stein is really cool. He's really relaxed. And he gets angry and he gets excited. But his natural voice is kind of just like my natural voice. Just like I get to be, oh, I'm Stein. It's kind of like my regular voice. So it was a nice sort of vocal vacation. Zach was just like, I think it should just be like you, Chuck. Just do you. And that's really fun sometimes, to do yourself.
I think when I auditioned, I think I read for Maka and Patty and Liz, maybe? I don't know. But Patty was the one that I really wanted because I thought she was nuts. And we set the tone for her. I think that was the first time. Normally they just give us a picture and a script, but I remember for Soul Eater, which is why I was like, I really want to work on this show, they showed us clips. I don't know if did they show you clips, Vic? When you went into audition, you're like, oh, we get to see the animation before, as we're auditioning? They're like, so here's the scene, this is kind of what it looks like. And they showed a scene with Patty, and he's like, so the laugh is really her character. So let's find the laugh first in the audition. So I just started laughing for a while, and my cousins at the time were 4 and 6. And so that is really how I came up with the character, was what do my 4 and 6-year-old cousins sound like? And they always seem so happy and perky. And
I want to hear the laugh. What's the laugh sound?
yeah.
That is terrifying.
Isn't it just? And that's totally what a gun should sound like.
Yeah, that's an evil.
Yeah.
There's an evil under there. There's a darkness under there.
That's what I'm saying. That's how we found that, and then the lines just came from, oh, well, this is what she sounds like. So it's very similar to my voice, maybe a little bit higher. She does not care. She just loves to laugh and mess with people, which, if I knew it wasn't getting me in trouble, I would too.
Let's go right, way in the back, waving.
I love you. Come here. Give me a hug. I'd do anything to hug this man. I'm telling you.
Really? I will give you big hugs. Stop.
Sure will.
Y'all have a great day. And for those of y'all that came to see after midnight, thank you.
All right.
Stepped on my tray.
Nick's like, how do I get back up?
Let's go with question, a fan waiver.
You just blew my mind.
Represent that thing.
Well then, I would be the web.
And I would remove his spleen. And perhaps a lung or two.
Maybe what? The baby Groot.
Yeah, that's what we did.
I want the Groot.
Another question here, Hatman. What would my weapon be? What was the question again? Oh, okay. I would be
Wait, so us is us or us?
Yeah. No, it's us. What would my weapon be? A yo-yo. Exploding laser yo-yo. Exploding razor laser yo-yo. With popcorn.
Probably a wand that looks really sparkly and like not suspecting, but that shoots ninja stars out of it. So it's like,
Just
oh,
for the ninjas.
yeah, like, oh, so cute, and then like it like kills people. I mean, that's terrifying, right? Terrifying and adorable.
It's terrible. Yes, in the back, Jeff the Killer.
So when you meet yourself, what is that like?
The Buddha says we should kill ourselves if we meet ourselves. And so I would have Stein kill me.
I don't know what I'd say to Stein. I'd probably be like, oh, I know what I'd say to Stein. I'd be like, okay, for real, what's the screw for? And he'd be like, and then I go, man, that's so deep. People ask me what the screw's for. I really think it's to keep him sane. I think it keeps him from going completely over the cliff.
Tightens it each time he gets a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Tighten it down. It is totally having a screw loose. Right here. Yes.
What would Patty be like if he said that coffee
What would who be like if said that what? Stein? What would Stein be like saying the coffee, Tommy?
Well, Martha's dad? Martha's dad?
Spirit. What would Spirit sound like?
Spirit saying the Tamaki line?
That would be so creepy. I mean, he's already a creeper, you know? I mean, oh my gosh. I could see him sitting, you know, having a beer in Chupacabras, walking up to some girl and going, hey, how would you like to drink this coffee from my... Sorry. He would probably try to use it as a bad pickup line. You know? It worked in high school.
You. Right here in the front row.
Alright, so Patty, did you like the line where you got to yell at Jeff the Kid for acting up?
Oh, for putting him in his place in that special way that I have?
Yeah.
Is that your way of asking me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Get your ass moving, damn you! It's really not yelling as much as it is like dropping her voice a little bit, making her a little bit crazy. I don't think Patty ever really yells. The loudest she gets is laughing like a crazy person. But she, like, people say, oh, Patty, I need you to go shoot this person. Okay! Like, it's fine, cool. So yeah, that was awesome. I was shocked when I actually said it, very perky, because I was like, oh, that's how Patty does that. And Zach was like, no, we want to make this really dark. I was like, oh, now she has multiple personalities? And he was like, where have you been the whole show? I just thought she was funny. I didn't know she was crazy.
Let's go right here, center.